Life eventually brings every person to the same quiet crossroads, a moment where pain no longer feels temporary, and you are forced to decide whether you will break under its weight or learn the rare discipline of not caring about what no longer deserves you. Because suffering does not come from loss itself, but from the meaning we attach to it. And the Stoics understood something most people never do, that nothing outside of your mind has the power to destroy you unless you hand it that power willingly. And this is why relationships hurt more than failures, why silence cuts deeper than insults, and why abandonment feels like a judgment on your worth. Because when you place your identity, your peace, and your emotional survival in the hands of another person, you are no longer loving. You are surrendering yourself. And the moment they change, hesitate, pull away, or leave, you don't just feel pain, you feel erased. But Marcus Aurelius warned us long ago that if you are distressed by anything external, it is not the event itself that harms you, but your interpretation of it. Meaning the suffering you feel is not proof of love, it is proof of attachment. And attachment is where love quietly turns into fear, where affection becomes dependency, and where desire becomes emotional slavery. Because the truth is not that people hurt us, the truth is that we expect permanence from temporary beings and certainty from a world that has never promised it. And when those expectations collapse, the untrained mind collapses with them, replaying conversations, waiting for messages, interpreting silence as rejection, and measuring self-worth through attention. But the Stoic path does not ask you to suppress emotion or become cold. It asks you to become sovereign over your inner world, to recognize that caring deeply does not require clinging desperately, and that loving fully does not mean abandoning yourself, because there is a profound difference between caring and clinging, where caring allows space, dignity, and freedom, and clinging suffocates both you and the other person with fear, control, and insecurity. And this is why letting go feels terrifying, not because it is weakness, but because it removes the illusion of control we desperately cling to. Yet Epictetus, who lived as a slave, understood freedom better than most kings when he said that happiness and freedom begin the moment you stop demanding that life unfold according to your preferences. Because the strongest position you can ever stand in is the acceptance that you can lose anyone and still remain whole. And this is where power quietly returns, not through indifference as cruelty, but through indifference as wisdom, where you no longer chase closure, no longer beg for clarity, no longer interpret disrespect as a puzzle to solve, but instead recognize silence as an answer, distance as information, and rejection as redirection. Understanding that betrayal does not always come from malice, but from human limitation, and that most people are fighting battles you will never see. Yet none of that requires you to sacrifice your self-respect on the altar of understanding, because Stoicism teaches boundaries, not as walls built in anger, but as lines drawn in self-respect, where you step back without drama, release without resentment, and walk away without hatred, knowing that revenge is noisy, but dignity is silent, and that the deepest strength is not reacting at all. Because the moment you stop allowing another person's behavior to dictate your emotional state, you reclaim your authority, you reclaim your peace, and you reclaim your time, which is the only currency that truly matters. And this is why rejection is not a verdict on your value, ghosting is not a reflection of your worth, and loss is not proof of failure, but simply evidence that life is constantly filtering who belongs in your next chapter. And the Stoic does not chase what leaves, because what leaves was never meant to be owned, only experienced. And when you finally internalize this, something remarkable happens. You still feel, but you are no longer controlled by feeling. You still love, but you are no longer afraid of loss. You still give, but you no longer overextend. And this is what it means to stop caring about what does not deserve you, not by becoming numb, but by becoming grounded. Not by hardening your heart, but by strengthening your mind. Because inner peace is not found in being chosen, validated, or needed. It is found in knowing that you are enough without permission, and that your worth is intrinsic, not negotiated through attention. And when you reach this state, you love differently, calmly, freely, without fear, because you are no longer trying to be saved, completed, or confirmed by another person. You are simply sharing your life with them while remaining whole on your own. And this is the final Stoic truth. Pain will visit everyone. Loss will arrive unannounced. People will change, leave, disappoint, and misunderstand you. But none of that has the authority to destroy you unless you surrender your inner command. Because in every moment of heartbreak, there is a choice quietly waiting, unseen by most, where you either break by clinging to what you cannot control, or you rise by releasing what was never yours to keep. And the one who learns this does not become heartless, they become unbreakable.